Hi, guys. Cecile Edwards here of the Mommy Matters podcast. I have to tell you, if you have not heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Did I tell you that you can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download your Anchor app or go to Anchor FM, anchor.fm to get started. You will not be dissatisfied. Welcome to the Mommy Matters podcast, where Mommy Matters is a double entendre that states and declares that mommies matter, where we have conversations surrounding mommy matters, from conception to pregnancy to postpartum, mother and father wounds, dating, mindfulness and self-care, spirituality, parenting, discipline, legislation, money, and so much more. It is my hope and my prayer that the information that you gather here serves as a blueprint for generational and individual ascension. Enjoy. All right, welcome. Thank you for joining me on this April 2020 episode of Mommy Matters podcast. And this is a very special episode because we are talking about something that is very near and dear to me, something that has helped me to move through and grow in my self-care, my wellness. And that is a self-care plan. And what is a self-care plan? So a self-care plan is basically a personal lesson plan for your self-care, right? It is a living, breathing document. I actually do something on paper that gives you the insight, the clarity, and the plan that you need in order to incorporate more self-care into your life and really form a habit out of it. Oftentimes we say that we don't have time for self-care. We often don't know how to define self-care as well. What does it look like? What does it mean for us, depending on where you are in your journey of motherhood? Oftentimes, postpartum moms get so absorbed in their children that they sort of lose track of the ability to care for themselves or knowing how they have shifted, right? Because sometimes it's just a matter of, you've changed. The things that you desire, the things that you find to be pleasurable and desirable to do for yourself, or the things that will care for you, are things that you don't know anymore what that is. Maybe you're looking to expand and find new things. Maybe you have disconnected from something that you were doing before because you had some kind of maybe trauma around it, or maybe you like to go for walks and you injured yourself or something. I don't know. But there's so many things that can disconnect us from those things that we love. And you all know from previous episodes, if you've listened, that self-care for me is the mental, emotional, spiritual care that attention that you pay to yourself on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. And so self-care, but it's also the care that you command from others, because community care is a very powerful thing. Right. And it's something that's oftentimes missing from the conversation. And that's a huge conversation, community care, because it's not just about your family and your friends, but it's also about the structure of our society and how that has played into the ways in which we take care of ourselves. And what do I mean by that? I mean that and this is going to be a separate episode, actually, because this is a an integrated conversation, a conversation that requires a little bit more than, this short blurb. But community care oftentimes gets pushed to the side because of the structure of our society, right? I was just having a conversation about how, working 9 to 5 was never something that struck me as something that we should be done, right? Commuting, long commutes day in and day out, something that I never saw as something that should be done. So I'm literally in a great sweet spot, being able to work from home, being able to be an independent contractor and do different things, as well as work on my business and grow my business in the way that I love. And so one of the things, of course, is the self-care plan. And again, this is a living, breathing document where we go through basically a coaching session to talk about the different things that is intriguing to you around taking care of yourself. Okay, it's a goal setting, personal lesson plan to build on your self-care. You discuss prior knowledge, things that you've done that have brought you joy and peace and calm and created space within yourself, mental, emotional, spiritual space. So that may be releasing certain things through affirmations or new actions. And it's all about self-mastery, mastering yourself, becoming more sovereign within yourself, trusting yourself, loving yourself. And it gives you a way to have things written down so you can see the promises that you've made to yourself. And you can do it, right? And so this plan, just like any other lesson plan, a living document, meaning you can make it and it can be for a week, it could be for 2 weeks. I recommend at least a month of consistently practicing these things that you said that you wanted to do, and you discovered that you wanted to do. And it's a process of not just doing them, but seeing how you feel when you do them, seeing how it affects your mood, seeing if it really does work for you, if it's something that you have not done in a while or are looking to incorporate something new. So sometimes you need you need some time to get used to that. I'll give the example of learning my love of lifting weights, right? So when I first started, it was just kind of like something that I felt like I needed to do in order to become healthier. And it was, I didn't know though at the time the ways in which it could and would make me healthier. And I fell in love with it, right? And if I didn't stick to it for a certain amount of time, I wouldn't have known. If I didn't build that discipline in myself, then I would not have known. Not only would I have not known, but I would not have built an intimate relationship with it and seen some kind of results that wasn't just about the lifting the weights at that time, but also about building the discipline and the self-trust to move through other activities that, were new activities that I wanted to try and do. So this is not just about, you're trying something, oh, it doesn't work. It's about building that inner discipline to trust yourself, to move through something that you say that you're intrigued to do, and to continue to do it and know that you can continue to do that and recreate that process for yourself and learn what the best process for you is through that, right? And so I took that, the learning to lift weights, and which is very good for women, by the way. If you're looking to build strength and such after having a baby, or at any point in your life, just taking a few pounds weight and moving your body with it while you're sitting and watching TV, or you're breastfeeding your baby, or if you feel like it, and if you feel like your body is strong enough and you've consulted your physician about it, or your postpartum doula, then I highly recommend doing that. Yeah. So I this postpartum plan is something that I am looking to work with for the remainder of this year. I'm looking to work with 100 women and men who are looking to improve their self-care. Now, what is the beauty about my self-care? It's holistic, right? So with every self-care plan, you're going to leave with at minimum 2 to 3 things that you can do for your mind, body, spirit, and emotions, right? And so what does that look like? So you may get some affirmations. You may say, I'm going to walk 20 minutes a day. You may say, discover that you want to be more in your intimate relationships. You want to talk to people more and talk positively with them. I know for me in my parenting, because of where I am in my parenting, I wanted to not raise my voice as much in my parenting. And so that was a part of one of my self-care plans, because I know how, raising your voice sometimes just comes from a place of frustration. So I had to deal with that. Right. And I also wanted to implement something different. Right. And so in the self-care plan, it is literally like a lesson plan. You have an objective, right? What is it that you're looking to achieve overall during this time? Okay. And mind you, this objective may be something that you carry into another month or week. But again, it's just about having that plan. Anybody that builds something new needs to have a plan. Anytime you're trying to change something, you have to have a plan, a vision, right? I also have essential questions, right? So essential questions are the questions that you're asking yourself about how you're going to, what you're trying to get out of it, how you're going to move to the next step, as well as what you want to discover through this process, through your process. And this is essential questions are, if you go into a classroom, you'll see this a lot of times anyway, not all the time, you'll see the essential question on the blackboard or the whiteboard that the teacher has written that has to do with the lesson unit that the students are doing. And so consider your monthly plan a unit of self-discovery, of evolution in yourself, of getting closer to yourself and really being able to articulate, notice and articulate what it is that you need at given times, and being okay with that process and learning that process, right? So one of the needs that I know that I had was a lot of alone time. Another one was to feel seen and heard. So those are some of the things that I know that if I was in situations where that wasn't being validated, I would have to articulate that, or I would have to remove myself from it, right? And so this self-care plan just really gives you clarity. Gives you clarity in your mental, your spiritual, your physical, and your emotional. And again, the beauty here is that as a Reiki master, as a self-care mindfulness coach, as a postpartum doula, and various modalities that I have studied and gone through, and all of those things have really informed the various suggestions that I can make to you in helping you build this self-care plan. But mostly it comes through you. Okay. One of the areas that I love the most is I have a section called, because a huge part of my process is reframing. So we talk about the current vocabulary that you may have that you need to replace, different words and things like that. So this is a very thorough plan. I do have a more simple plan that I will be doing with a postpartum group on a monthly basis. But to get a more in-depth, then you can certainly contact me for that in-depth process. And you can contact me via email, mommyEvolve@gmail.com. That's momevolve@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Instagram at mommyEvolve or on Facebook at mommyEvolve. And right now, as I said, I'm looking to support the 100 postpartum mothers in going through the process of self-discovery. With this, you will also have the opportunity to join my group, which is our Mommy Friends group, which is essential. We all need support. Okay. And you'll get to just have this living document that you can consistently use and be supported with. And it's very thorough. It's unlike a lot of the self-care plans that you have seen. And it really is holistic and really gives you the space and the ability to really see yourself, grow yourself in a consistent manner with support. Okay. And it's something that you can reproduce. I suggest working with me for 3 to 6 months so that you can go through the process and you can really have someone see your growth and your expansion in the process. And once you do that, you can take off and utilize this yourself, not sharing it with anyone because this is proprietary, right? But just something that you can consistently reproduce in yourself, because that's one of the things about me. I believe in giving tools that can be used consistently, because I don't believe in just talking to people and then dumping them after a certain amount of time. I want to give you something that you can use and ensure that you're using it and that you're in a space where it's something that you can use on your own, right? And so I wanted to talk about the self-care plan and really just give a little piece of that. I will be having the ability to sign up. You can go to my Calendly to sign up if you would like to get a self-care plan done. You can also visit my website. My website is under construction, but you will be able to find some information there, especially if you go to Instagram and you click on my link there, my link tree. So it's linktr.ee/evolving self. And you can connect with me there as well. So, stay connected there, because there's constantly inspiration and ideas. But if you want to work closer, then feel free to connect with me via those sites. And stay tuned for the various activities that we have going on, different empowerment sessions and mini courses around evolving the inner mother. And share with me what your experience has been with your self-care for the past few months, some of your postpartum journey. I would love to hear more about that. And just stay connected and stay well. Stay well. Set your intention on persistently and consistently being well. I know that these are difficult times, and that people are being bombarded with a lot of information and different heavy things. However, even in those times, we live inside of our bodies, and so we have to ask ourselves what it is that we need, how we can be best and better, and continue to grow. All right. So again, download, leave a comment under this episode to share your ideas or insights or anything that you would like to share. And I look forward to your positive feedback and love. And I'm so grateful for all of you listening. And I look forward to sharing our next episode with you in May. Take care and have a lovely rest of your week. Peace and love. Did you like that? I know it was as informative for you as it was for me. Look, this is a process for all of us. And to keep this process going, I would love to invite you to donate to our podcast. We want to continue to give you high-level content, beautiful content that enlightens and inspires and broadens your vision to elevate you and evolve. So please feel free to go to the podcast page at anchor.fm/Mommy Matters. We would love to hear your questions and comments as well, so that we can discuss them in future podcasts. And you can email that to mommyevolve@gmail.com. You can also visit the website and send your comments there. www.mommyevolve.com. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Peace and love.